A very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor with you, and here are the latest headlines that we are tracking. Post-demonetization, World Bank drops India's growth rate to 7% from its previous estimate of 7.6% in 2017, but asserts that the country would regain momentum in the following years. RBI says it recommended the scrapping of notes on 8th of November after a prod from the centre. Central Bank's 7-page report sent to Parliament's Standing Committee on Finance. Both factions of the Samajwadi Party sent us to submit their case for party symbol on 13th of January. Warring father-son duo Mulayam Singh and Akhilesh Yadav failed to reconcile after 90-minute meet. And more than 50 people killed as deadly attacks rip across Afghanistan. Suicide bombings near Afghan parliament in Kabul. 2 other explosions at Kandahar and Helmand provinces. Taliban claims responsibility for the Kabul attacks. Well, first up now, outgoing US President Barack Obama is delivering his farewell speech in Chicago. Let's cut across live.
Because of the extraordinary courage of our men and women in uniform, because of our intelligence officers and law enforcement and diplomats who support our troops, no foreign terrorist organization has successfully planned and executed an attack on our homeland these past 8 years. And although Boston and Orlando and San Bernardino and Fort Hood remind us of how dangerous radicalization can be, our law enforcement agencies are more effective and vigilant than ever. We have taken out tens of thousands of terrorists, including bin Laden. The global coalition we're leading against ISIL has taken out their leaders and taken away about half their territory. ISIL will be destroyed, and no one who threatens America will ever be safe. And to all who serve or have served, it has been the honor of my lifetime to be your commander-in-chief. And we all owe you a deep debt of gratitude. But protecting our way of life, that's not just the job of our military. Democracy can buckle when it gives in to fear. So just as we, as citizens, must remain vigilant against external aggression, we must guard against a weakening of the values that make us who we are. And that's why for the past 8 years, I've worked to put the fight against terrorism on a firmer legal footing. That's why we've ended torture, worked to close Gitmo, reformed our laws governing surveillance to protect privacy and civil liberties. That's why I reject discrimination against Muslim Americans, who are just as patriotic as we are. That's why we cannot withdraw. That's why we cannot withdraw from big global fights to expand democracy and human rights and women's rights and LGBT rights. No matter how imperfect our efforts, no matter how expedient ignoring such values may seem, that's part of defending America. For the fight against extremism and intolerance and sectarianism and chauvinism are of a piece with the fight against authoritarianism and nationalist aggression. If the scope of freedom and respect for the rule of law shrinks around the world, the likelihood of war within and between nations increases, and our own freedoms will eventually be threatened. So let's be vigilant but not afraid. ISIL will try to kill innocent people, but they cannot defeat America unless we betray our Constitution and our principles in the fight.
All right, that is US President Barack Obama, in fact, giving a farewell speech in Chicago where he's reflecting on his time in office, and he has given a message of national unity, and he has also spoken about the achievements of the Obama administration in the last 8 years. Well, we'll get you more on that story. Let's move on in the bulletin at the moment. Well, the World Bank has lowered India's growth forecast for 2017 to 7% from 7.6% estimated earlier, attributing it partly to demonetization of high-value currency notes. Well, according to the World Bank, the immediate withdrawal of a large volume of currency in circulation and subsequent replacement with new notes announced by the government in November contributed to slowing of growth in 2016. However, the World Bank also asserted that India would regain momentum in the following years with an estimated 7.6% and 7.8% growth, and is still predicted to be fastest growing emerging market economies of the world ahead of China. Well, in its latest report released on Tuesday, World Bank projected the global growth of 2.7% for this year after a post-crisis low of 2.3% in 2016. And the RBI has admitted that it was the government which advised the central bank to junk 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. Well, in a 7-page note to the Parliament's department-related Committee of Finance, the RBI stated that it was the government that had on 7th of November last year advised that the bank may consider withdrawal of the legal tender status of the notes in high denominations of 500 and 1,000 rupees to mitigate the triple problems of counterfeiting, terrorist financing and black money. Well, just a day later, that is on 8th of November, the RBI board reviewed the proposal and the Union Cabinet met within hours of that recommendation and banned the circulation of 500 and 1,000 rupee notes. Now, this comes as earlier the government had claimed that it was the RBI which had suggested implementing of demonetization. Now, speaking in the Rajya Sabha on 16th of November, the Union Power Minister Piyush Goyal had said that the RBI runs the nation's monetary policy and that the demonetization decision was taken by the RBI board. And the Income Tax Department officials claim that about 3 to 4 lakh crore of evaded income has been deposited into banks. Well, the deposits are being looked at as a result of demonetization of old 500 and 1,000 rupee notes by the government. Over 60 lakh individual bank accounts saw a sum of more than 2 lakh rupees deposited since 9th of November. Also under scrutiny is over 10,700 crore rupees in cash that was deposited in different bank accounts in the northeastern states since 9th of November. Well, Enforcement Directorate officials will also examine deposits of over 16,000 crore rupees in cooperative bank accounts. The IT department claims that large sums of money had been deposited in these banks without documentation. And Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi will preside over the day-long Jan Vedana convention today to highlight the anti-poor and anti-public policies of the Modi government in the wake of demonetization. Well, the convention is likely to be addressed by former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh and other senior Congress leaders and will set the tone for the party's campaign for the upcoming state elections. Well, all the top leaders of the party, including Congress Working Committee members, AICC delegates, Pradesh Congress Committee chiefs and all party MPs and MLAs will attend the Jan Vedana Sammelan. However, it is still unclear whether Congress President Sonia Gandhi will attend the convention or not. Well, demands for the elevation of Rahul, who has of late assumed a leadership role in the absence of Sonia Gandhi due to her ill health, may also crop up during the day-long event.
नेता अपनी बात रखेंगे, वर्किंग कमेटी के मेंबर्स वहां पे मौजूद रहेंगे, देश के कोने कोने से चुनिंदा कांग्रेसी कार्यकर्ता इसमें हिस्सा लेंगे जो देशवासी इस नोटबंदी की वजह से कतारों में खड़े थे और जिनके देहांत हुए हैं, जिनकी मृत्यु हुए हैं, उनको श्रद्धा सुमन समर्पित करता हुआ प्रस्ताव पारित किया जाएगा।
And for more on this, let's go across it to my colleague Vishal Daya, who's joining us on the phone line. Vishal, now Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi is going to preside over the Congress the National Convention today. The sources say that Sonia Gandhi is not likely to attend. What details you have, and what else is likely to happen in that convention today?
Well, yes, that's right. The Congress President Sonia Gandhi is not expected to be present at this particular convention. The one-day saga will be chaired by the Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi. What we are being told, as per the schedule of this particular conference, the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi will declare it open by around 11 a.m. Will have an inaugural speech, and then there will be several addresses which will be given by senior leaders of the party. Now, the focus would be, rather, the overall detailing would be around the 2.5 years of the NDA government and its failures, but the focus would be on the issue of demonetization. And there is a likelihood of two different resolutions being passed. One, paying condolences to all those who died standing in queues, as the party alleges that was due to the demonetization decision taken by the Prime Minister. And the second one is expected to get in detail about the present economic situation, the setback to the Indian economy, which has been caused by the demonetization, and the further problems which will be faced by the people due to this particular decision. There's also a likelihood that the party might put forth at least half a dozen demands to the government in terms of compensating the general people as well as state governments on the loss they have suffered due to demonetization. And the one-day convention will finally come to an end with the closing remarks by, once again, the Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi.
All right, Vishal, thank you so much for those details there. Meanwhile, the 8th edition of the Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit 2017 was inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Ahmedabad on Tuesday. Now, Reliance Industries Chairman Mukesh Ambani and Interim Chairman of Tata Group Ratan Tata were among the other dignitaries present. Now, this time the event is being held on a mega scale with many heads of states, top global and Indian CEOs and several business houses participating. The state government expects to receive investment proposals of more than 25 lakh crore rupees at this year's summit. Now, 12 nations are partner countries for the event, including the US, UK, Australia, Japan and the UAE.
Our biggest strength is the depth of our democracy. Some people say that democracy cannot deliver effective and fast-track governance. But we have seen in the last 2.5 years that it is possible to deliver quick results in a democratic setup as well. Ours is a nation of a vibrant youth. The disciplined, dedicated and talented youth of India offers a globally unmatched workforce. We are the second largest English-speaking country. Our youth are not merely looking for jobs. They have begun taking risks and often prefer to become entrepreneurs.
Well, earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met leaders of Japan, Rwanda, Denmark and Serbia on the sidelines of the investment summit. He had also opened the Vibrant Gujarat Global Trade Show on Monday. Well, the 8th Vibrant Gujarat Summit is focusing on sectors like sustainable development and establishing Gujarat as a business destination. And now a look at what all events are lined up for the day in the day ahead. A delegation of AIADMK MPs will meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi today to submit a petition asking for Jallikattu to be allowed during Pongal in Tamil Nadu. The move comes after Tamil Nadu Chief Minister O. Selvam wrote a letter to the Prime Minister urging him to promulgate an ordinance to resume the sport on Pongal this year. With a view for animal welfare, the Supreme Court had in May 2014 banned the bullfighting sport. The Supreme Court will hear a plea seeking quashing of a provision of the Income Tax Act on a tax exemption to political parties on receiving voluntary contributions. In his plea, the petitioner has also challenged the Representation of the People's Act that provides for the actual conduct of elections in the country. The Act also deals with the qualification and disqualification of members of both houses of Parliament and state. The Supreme Court will hear the plea filed by SBI-led consortium of 17 banks against businessman Vijay Mallya for the recovery of more than 9,000 crore rupees from him. The banks have approached the apex court seeking its intervention in bringing back Mallya to India and also repayment of money which the beleaguered businessman had taken. Vijay Mallya is, remember, now absconding. He is presently in England. And in Breakfast News, time for a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay with us.
You are still not seen as a heavyweight politician of the BJP.
I cannot be as effective as those people who have got 50 members or 30 members.
If you're not loud, you are not heard inside the assembly, you are not heard by the people.
Simply by shouting, the point is not driven home. The purpose or the reasoning, that is important.
People have already started saying that the party has not given you your due.
We have to bring in the younger people. The elder people will play their role.
Watch to the point with the sole BJP legislator in Kerala Assembly, O. Raja Gopal, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back, and now let's get you some weather update. Well, the cold wave conditions continue to intensify in North India, while heavy fog at various places is affecting the train movement in the northwestern region. So here is a look at the cold wave conditions in several states of the country. Well, in Jammu and Kashmir, the cold wave continued across the Kashmir region with heavy snow accumulation reported from higher mountain ranges. Now, the sunshine and improvement in weather leads to decrease in night temperatures, thereby accumulated snow gets frozen. Water supply has also been affected. Now, the Met Department has predicted light rain or snowfall at isolated places in the valley and elsewhere in the state. Meanwhile, in Himachal Pradesh, the cold wave conditions continued unabated as minimum temperatures stayed below normal at most of the places, especially the people in tribal districts and other higher hills reeled under shivering cold wave conditions. The weather remained dry in the state, but Kelong and Saloni recorded 1 centimeters and 3 centimeters of fresh snow on Tuesday. Now, the Met Department has predicted a light snowfall and rain at a few places for the next 24 hours. Even in the capital, Shimla, several areas remained without power for the 5th day, while the water supply also, however, restored partially. And the national capital witnessed chilly and strong breezy conditions on Tuesday as the mercury dropped to 5.2 degrees Celsius, making it the coldest day of the season so far. However, the Met Department has forecast mainly clear skies for today with mist and shallow fog in the morning. While in Rajasthan, the temperature recorded below normal 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. Heavy fog at various places affected the train movement in the northwestern region. And in the latest from the poll-bound states, well, the nomination process in Goa and Punjab will begin today with the notifications being issued. While the last date for filing the nominations is 18th of January, candidates can withdraw their nominations by 21st of January. Now, 40 constituencies in Goa and 17 constituencies in Punjab will vote in a single phase on 4th of February. Meanwhile, trying to make inroads in Goa and Punjab, now Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia triggered a political buzz by indicating that AAP convener Arvind Kejriwal may be the party's chief ministerial candidate in Punjab. Now, Sisodia's statement triggered a speculation in political circles as to whether Kejriwal's planning a shift to Punjab and quit Delhi once again. Now, Sisodia told voters in Mohali to cast their vote, assuming that Kejriwal was the chief ministerial candidate, and vote for him. The Aam Aadmi Party that won 4 Lok Sabha seats in 2014 elections was seen as a major alternative force to Congress and Akali Dal for the voters. Kejriwal had earlier ruled out contesting elections from Punjab. Now, the assembly elections for 117 seats will be held in a single phase on 4th of February in Punjab, and the results of the elections will be announced on 11th of March.
पंजाब तो यही मान के वोट करें कि अरविंद केजरीवाल को मुख्यमंत्री बनाने के लिए वोट दे रहे हैं। मैं इसलिए कहा कि जो भी वादे पूरे कर रहे हैं, अरविंद केजरीवाल ऐसे नहीं भागेंगे। पंजाब के लिए जो जो वादे करें वो पूरे करवाएंगे। एक एक आदमी मुख्यमंत्री बनेगा, आम आदमी मुख्यमंत्री बनेगा। पंजाब का मुख्यमंत्री ऐसा होगा जो नशा नहीं फैलाएगा।
Meanwhile, the Election Commission has asked both the factions of the Samajwadi Party to appear before it on 13th of January. Well, it will hear arguments from both the sides before deciding who gets the cycle symbol of the party. Now, Mulayam Singh has already told the media that the party stands united for the benefit of the state. He also asserted that the party will soon begin the campaign and that Akhilesh will be the next chief minister. Akhilesh also met his father Mulayam Singh at his residence in Lucknow on Tuesday, indicating a movement towards a patch-up within the Samajwadi Party. Well, this meeting lasted for about 90 minutes. And my colleague Kriti Mishra is tracking all those developments in Lucknow very, very closely. Let's go across to her. Kriti, now this 90-minute meeting between the two father-son duo of Akhilesh Yadav and Mulayam Singh Yadav, it seems did not fetch any results because there seems to be still lack of consensus on various issues. What are these really issues that the two have not been able to reconcile their differences on?
Well, Aishwarya, a compromise between SP Patriarch Mulayam Yadav and Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav is probably stuck over who will be the national president of the Samajwadi Party. Now, the father-son duo met for almost 90 minutes, as you said, on Tuesday morning alone very specifically, but refrained from making any official comment. The party insiders are telling us that Mulayam insisted that he was still the national president of the party. Meanwhile, Akhilesh was told that he could be made SP state president. But those are just the reports that are coming in. But CM probably has refused to budge. He's adamant that he would like to stay as the SP national president till the end of the assembly elections. So either camp is not willing to take that first move on withdrawing its petition from the Election Commission. However, Mulayam Singh Yadav has asked Akhilesh to go ahead and withdraw his letter. Mulayam Singh Yadav is adamant that Ram Gopal Yadav should be sidelined by Akhilesh, while Akhilesh says that Amar and Shivpal should be kept away from UP politics. So it is still not clear that what is the compromise formula that is emerging between these two warring factions of the Samajwadi Party. But according to party insiders, Mulayam Singh Yadav could come ahead and address the media today on various issues. Aishwarya?
All right, Kriti, thank you so much for those details there. So there's still no clarity on whatever is happening within the Samajwadi Party, but the Election Commission will hear both the warring factions on 13th of January to decide on who gets the party symbol, the cycle. And our correspondent Kriti Mishra also spoke with BJP leader Kalraj Mishra about his party's prospects in the upcoming assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. Now, when asked about whether the BJP could gain anything from the Samajwadi Party's internal crisis, he said that his party was focusing only ensuring its victory under Narendra Modi's leadership. Let's take a listen.
देखिए, हम तो अपना काम कर रहे हैं और आम जनता तक हम पहुंचकर भारतीय जनता पार्टी क्या कर रही है, गरीबों के लिए, आम लोगों के लिए हमने कौन से कार्यक्रम अपनाए हैं, ये सारी चीज़ें हम लोगों के बीच में जाकर बता रहे हैं। बूथ स्तर पर कमेटियों के माध्यम से बता रहे हैं, परिवर्तन यात्राओं के माध्यम से बता रहे हैं। 2 करोड़ से ज़्यादा लोगों से संवाद हुआ है और इसलिए मैं उसमें विश्वास रखते हुए सकारात्मक दृष्टि से हम आगे बढ़ते जा रहे हैं। इससे हमारा तो स्वयं में फायदा होता जा रहा है। ये पार्टियां जो अंतर्कलह के कारण टूट रही हैं, तो जनता के मन के अंदर और विश्वसनीयता बढ़ती जा रही है कि केवल भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक ऐसी पार्टी है जिसके माध्यम से प्रदेश को, हम उत्तर प्रदेश को उत्तम प्रदेश बना सकते हैं और इसे स्वाभाविक रूप से हमारे साथ जुड़ेंगे। जनता हमारे लिए डेडिकेटेड वोट बैंक के रूप में है। जनता हमें पूर्ण समर्थन दे रही है। हमें पूरा विश्वास है कि जात, बिरादरी, पंथ, मजहब इसकी बात छोड़कर जनता पूरे विश्वास के साथ प्रधानमंत्री जी मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में भारतीय जनता पार्टी को विजयी बनाना चाहती है और भारतीय जनता पार्टी विजयी हो जाने के पश्चात उत्तर प्रदेश को अव्यवस्थित करने की दिशा में अपने कार्यक्रमों के माध्यम से काम करेगी।
Meanwhile, the Election Commission has asked officials in the 5 poll-bound states to either cover up or remove photographs of political leaders on all hoardings and advertisements. It said that hoardings and advertisements that seek to project the achievements of any living political functionary or political party should be removed immediately. However, it made it clear that the government hoardings that convey a general message to the masses on family planning or social welfare schemes may be allowed to be displayed. The poll panel also said that no political party or functionary can use public resources or incur or authorize the expenditure from the public exchequer to promote any political leader's image. It claimed that such images or hoardings undoubtedly amount to their individual or party election campaign at public cost. Now, 5 states are going to polls between 4th of February and 8th of March. They include Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, Goa and Manipur. And the Model Code of Conduct came into force from 4th of January when the schedule was announced. All right, let's get you some international news. Close to 50 people have been killed in a series of militant attacks throughout Afghanistan on Tuesday. Up to 30 people were killed and 80 wounded in twin bombings near the parliament in the capital, Kabul. The blast took place during rush hour as the staff were leaving the parliament complex. But the Taliban said that they were responsible for the twin bomb attacks. Meanwhile, blasts at the governor's guest house in Kandahar also killed at least 11 and injured 14, including the UAE ambassador. The ambassador and other dignitaries were attending a dinner party when the attack happened. Earlier in Helmand province, a Taliban suicide bomber targeted a guest house used by an intelligence officials here, killing at least 7 people. Now, President Ashraf Ghani has vowed that all those behind the criminal attacks would be caught.
تعقیب متربم در جاده عمومی سرک دارالامان با وقوع پیوسته که باعث ایجاد تلفات شهید و مجروحین داریم. از اکثر شهدا و مجروحین افراد ملکی هستند. تحقیقات
خودم مصروف کار بودم دیگه، از بس که یک آواز خطرناک بود پرود کردم در زمین دیگه، چرا آزارم همینجا چرا تیر شد، بسیار چرا بود، همین طرف چرا بارک بود، بسیار وضعیت خراب بود.
On to some sports news. England on Tuesday made a promising start to its limited overs tour as it defeated India A by 3 wickets in the first warm-up game at the stadium in Mumbai. The second warm-up game will be played today, in which India A side will be led by Ajinkya Rahane. Now, India A posted 304 for 5, riding on Ambati Rayudu's 100 and half centuries by Dhoni, Yuvraj Singh and Shikhar Dhawan. Dhoni made a 40-ball 68. He scored 23 runs in the final over, hitting 2 sixes and 2 fours. However, in reply, a strong performance by England's top order led by Sam Billings helped the visitors overhaul a target with 7 balls to spare and 3 wickets in hand. Now, Billings made 93 with Jason Ray, Joss Butler, Liam Dawson and Alex Hales also making valuable contributions. Now, Kuldeep Yadav bagged 5 wickets. The 5-match ODI series begins on Sunday in Pune.
That's reverse swept and it's beat.
That's all in this edition of news, but news and updates continue on Rajya Sabha television. Thanks for watching.